በስመ አብ ወወልድ ወመንፈስ ቅዱስ አሐዱ አምላክ አሜን። እንደምን አደራችሁ? ይህችን ሰዓት የሰጠን አምላካችን እግዚአብሔር ስሙ የተመሰገነ ይሁንልን። በረድኤትና በቸርነትም አይለየን። ዛሬ መርሃ ግብራችን የሚሆነው በቤተሰብና በልጆች ላይ በተመለከተ ይሆናል። ስለዚህ እኔ ብዙ ትምህርት አልሰጥም። ለለቱ ለወላጆችም ለልጆችም ሊሆን የሚችል ገለጻ የሚሰጡ እህቶች አሉን። እንደ እግዚአብሔር ፈቃድም ደግሞ እንደዚሁ አንድ እንግዳ ጋብዘናል። ስለዚህ መርሃ ግብሮቻችን ወደዛ ይሆናሉ። ዛሬ ጥር 7 ቀን ነው። ጥር 7 ቀን ስላሴ በአብርሃም ቤት የተገኙበት ነው እና ያን ታሪክ በዘፍጥረት ምዕራፍ 18 ላይ ተጽፎ የሚገኝ ታሪክ ነው። እንዲህ አይነት ታሪኮች ለምንድነው የሚጻፉት? ለምንድነው እንዲህ አይነት ታሪክ የሚጻፈው ብለን ይሄንን በመናይበት ጊዜ ለራሳችን ሕይወት እንዲሆን ነው። የኛ ሕይወት ከእግዚአብሔር ጋር ተገናኝቶ እንዲኖር ነው። ሳራ ብዙ ፈተና፣ አብርሃም ብዙ ፈተና ነበረባቸው። እግዚአብሔርም ደግሞ ወደነሱ በመግባቱና በመድረሱ እግዚአብሔር ደግሞ ድንቅ ነገርን አድርጎላቸው ሕይወታቸው ሁሉ እጅግ መልካም የሆነ ሕይወት እንደነበረ እግዚአብሔርም እንደባረካቸው ተመልክተናል። እግዚአብሔር አምላክ አሁንም በረድኤትና በቸርነት እኛንም እንዳይለየን የሱ ቅዱስ ፈቃድ ይደረግልን። የሱ ቅዱስ ፈቃድ ይሁንልን። ስላሴ ስንል ሶስት ማለት ነው። ስላሴ አንድም ሶስትም ብለን ነው የምናምነው። ሁልጊዜ ሁሉን ነገር ስንጀምር እኛ በስመ ስላሴ ነው የምንጀምረው። አሁን መብረቅ ድንገት ብልጭ ቢል ምንድነው የምትሉት? ትላላችሁ አይደል? እንደሱ የተለመደ ስለሆነ ማለት ነው። አሁን መብረቅ አንድ ጊዜ እንደው ረምርሞ ቢመጣ ምን ብላችሁ ነው የምትሉት? ሁላችሁ በስመ አብ ወወልድ ወመንፈስ ቅዱስ አይደል የምትሉት? ለምን በኢየሱስ ስም አላላችሁም? ማለት አይቻልም? ማለት አይቻልም ወይ? ግን ለምን አላላችሁም? ለምን ይሄንን ባህል ተማርን? ለምን ይመስላችኋል? አውሮፓ ስላሴን አያውቅም። ምዕራቡ ዓለም አሁን ነው የጀመረው የስላሴ ትምህርት፣ ገና አያውቅም። የእግዚአብሔር የአንድነትና የሶስትነት ምስጢር ብዙም አይደለም። ዲያቆናት ያ የእናንተ መቀመጫ ነው፣ በዚህና በዚህ ከኋላ። ስለዚህ ግማሾቻችሁ በዚህ ትሆናላችሁ። ኒክ ስለዚህ ሁሉ ጊዜ በመደነግጡበት ጊዜ ምንድነው የምትሉት? በስመ አብ ወወልድ ወመንፈስ ቅዱስ ነው የምትሉት። በስመ አብ ወወልድ ወመንፈስ ቅዱስ። በኢየሱስ ስም ብትሉ ከሶስቱ አካል አንዱን ብቻ ነው የጠራችሁት፣ ያውም በተዋህዶ ስሙን የጠራችሁት። ሰምታችሁኛል ያልኩት? ከሶስቱ አካላት ስንቱን ጠራችሁ? አንዱን፣ ያውም በምን ስሙ? በተዋህዶ ስሙ የጠራችሁት እንጂ በመለኮት ስሙ አይደለም። ምን ማለት ነው? ስላሴ ስንል በስም ሶስት፣ በግብር ሶስት፣ በአካል ሶስት እንላለን። በስም ሶስት ማለት አብ ወልድ መንፈስ ቅዱስ ማለት ነው። በግብር ሶስት ማለት አብ አባት ወላዲ ወልድ ልጅ ተወላዲ መንፈስ ቅዱስ ሰራጺ ሕይወት ማለት ነው። አብ ወልድ መንፈስ ቅዱስ ከሶስቱ አካላት የትኛው መጣና ከድንግል ማርያም ተወለደ? ወልድ። ስሙን ማብላ ጠራችሁ? ክርስትናን ሲቀበሉ አውሮፓውያን ያችን ነው የሚያቋት፣ ወንጌሏን ነው የሚያቋት። የሚጀምሩት ከወንጌሉ እንጂ ከዛ ፍጥረት አይጀምሩም። ትልቁ ልዩነት ይሄ ነው። ትልቁ ልዩነት አሁን እየሞከሩ ነው ያሉት ብዙ ነው ይሄን ትምህርት እየሞከሩ ነው ያሉት። በዩኒቨርሲቲ ሌቭልም የስላሴ ሚስጥር በተለይ ሲስተማቲክ ቴዎሎጂ በሚል እየተሞከረ ነው ያለው። ከዛ ፍጥረት በመጀመራችሁ ደስ አይላችሁ? ደስ አይላችሁ? ሚስጥሩ ትክክለኛው መጽሐፍ ቅዱስ ትርጉሙ ስላለ ደስ አይላችሁ? ስለዚህ በኢየሱስ ስም ያላላችሁት ለምንድነው? ኢየሱስን የምታውቁት አዲስ ኪዳን ላይ አይደለም። ኢትዮጵያውያን ኦርቶዶክሳውያን ኢየሱስን የምናውቀው አዲስ ኪዳን ጋር ከድንግል ማርያም ሲወለድ አይደለም እኛ የምናውቀው። ከድንግል ማርያም ከመወለዱ በፊት ነው የምናውቀው። አያችሁ? ስለዚህ ሁሉ ነገራችን በስመ ሥላሴ ነው። ቅዳሴ ሲቀደስ የመጀመሪያው ሁሉም ሰው የሚቆምበት አለ። ከዛ ተወስዶ እንደውም ሰንደቅ ዓላማ ሲወጣና ሲወርድ ሁሉ ይቆማል። ወታደራዊ ስርዓት ሆኗል። አሃዱ ሲባል እየተራመደ ያለ ሰው እንኳን ካለ ምንድነው? ቀጥ አላዋቂ ካልሆነ በስተቀር ቀጥ ይላል። ምን እንደሚባለው እዛ ላይ አንዱ አብ ቅዱስ ነው፣ አንዱ ወልድ ቅዱስ ነው፣ አንዱ መንፈስ ቅዱስም ቅዱስ ነው ነው የሚባለው። እናንተ ደግሞ ምን ትላላችሁ? በእውነት አንዱ አብ ቅዱስ ነው፣ በእውነት አንዱ ወልድ ቅዱስ ነው፣ በእውነት አንዱ መንፈስ ቅዱስ ቅዱስ ነው ነው የምትሉ። በአማን ማለት በእውነት ማለት ነው። የኢትዮጵያ ቤተክርስቲያን ይሄ ነው የሚለያት ከሌላው። ትንሽ ጓደኞች ካላችሁ አሁን የምናገረው ሁሉ ቅር ሊላችሁ ይችላል። የውጪ ሰዎች ወይም በቤታችሁ ይሄ እምነት ካለ መምህር ዘበነ ለምን እንዲህ ይላል ልትሉ ሊከፋችሁ የሚችሉ ሰዎች እንዳላችሁ መንፈስ ቅዱስ ያሳየኛል። የሚገርማችሁ ይሄን እውነት ግን መያዝ ያስፈልጋል። አሁንም ልብ በሉ። አንድ ሰው በኢየሱስ ስም ቢል ይችላል አይችልም? በኦርቶዶክስ ይችላል። ትልቁ ግን እኛ እግዚአብሔርን በምሉ ስምህ ይገለጥልኝ በምንለው ይትቀደስ ስምከ በምንለው አጠራር በዛ አይነት ነው የምንጠራውና ይሄንን የሚያሳይ ነው። አምላካችን እግዚአብሔር አሁንም በረድኤትና በቸርነት አይለየን። ለአብርሃም የተገለጸ ለይስሐቅም የተገለጸ አምላካችን እግዚአብሔር ለዮሴፍም የተገለጸ ያዕቆብንም የጠበቀ እኛንም እንዲጠብቀን የሱ ቅዱስ ፍቃድ ይሁንልን። በረከትና ረድኤቱ ቸርነቱ ከሁላችን ጋር ይሁን። አምላካችን እግዚአብሔር ከክፉ ነገር ሁሉ ይሰውረን። ከዚህ በመቀጠል ሁለት ማይኮች ይሰናዱና ወደ ዕለቱ ገለጻ ነው የምንሄደው። ዛሬ የሚቀርቡ ትምህርቶች ይኖራሉ። ትምህርቶቹ በቤተሰብና በልጆች መካከል ነው። በዛ የቆማችሁ ሰዎች ክፍት መቀመጫዎች ይታዩኛል። ካልደከማችሁ ደስ እንዳላችሁ ልትቆሙ ትችላላችሁ። ካልደከማችሁ እንዳይደክማችሁ ግን እዚህ ክፍት መቀመጫዎች አሉ። ብትመጡ መታችሁ መቀመጥ ትችላላችሁ። እንደሱ ማድረግ ትችላላችሁ። አምላካችን እግዚአብሔር ስሙ ከዘላለም እስከ ዘላለም የተመሰገነ ይሁን። የመጀመሪያው መርሃ ግብር የምናልፈው በልጆቻችን ጉዳይ ላይ በተለይ ድራግን በተመለከተ ያለውን ሁኔታ የሚያሳይ ነው። ሁለት ተናጋሪዎች አሉን። ገለጻውን የሚሰጡ ሁለት ሰዎች ናቸው። እነዚህ ሁለት ሰዎች የቤተ ክርስቲያናችን አባላት ናቸው። የቤተ ክርስቲያናችን ልጆች ናቸው። በሚያስፈልገው ሁሉ የሚሰጡንን ገለጻ እንሰማለን፣ እንማራለን። የሚጠቅም እንደሚሆንም ተስፋ አደርጋለሁ። ስለዚህ ገለጣውን የሚሰጡን ሁለቱ እህቶቻችን ሀና ገብረወልድና ጽጌረዳ ጌታቸው ናቸው። ሀና ገብረወልድ እና ጽጌረዳ ሁለቱም ባንድ ላይ ገለጻውን ባንድ ላይ ያቀርቡልናል። ወደ 20 ደቂቃ ያህል የሚወስድ ገለጻ ነው የሚሆነው። ሃና ገብረ ወልድ she's the next presenters, Hannah and Tsiggereda. Our program is different today, and we will have a discussion about the child abuse and drug abuse and substance drug in children. And Hannah Gabrol is a clinical nurse leader, and she is certified health and life coach, and she is also a founder and CEO of the Hannah B Wellness Coach. And Tsiggereda also, she is a family nurse practitioner. Please, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Hannah and Tsiggereda.
የልዑል እግዚአብሔር ቤተሰቦች እንደምን አደራችሁ? የአምላካችን የልዑል እግዚአብሔር ስም የተመሰገነ ይሁን። Good morning, everyone. My name is Hannah, and this is Tsiggereda. We are healthcare workers and also Mazambrans, as you see. Today we will be presenting a very serious topic for both parents and children. This is a topic that is really killing our generation and also causing so many health issues for the parents due to what's going on with their kid. This topic is substance abuse. As we all know, so many kids are dying from this issue. Not only dying, and a lot of young kids who has so much potential, who can give to the world and who can contribute so much to this world, are affected with this substance abuse, and their potential are eaten by the substance or whatever drug they are using, and they're becoming really almost, I'm sorry to say it, but in a vegetative state. Because what they use really makes their thinking ability slow, their productivity slow, and also what they can contribute to the society, almost none. So we're going to do this in both in Amharic and English, so both the parents and the kids all understand. While Gashe Ephraim is putting the presentation on the slide, we're just going to go over and say what we will be discussing today. So today we'll talk about what's substance abuse. Substance abuse, types of substance, and the statistics of how much people are affected with this issue, and why people are really addicted to this substance, what is so special about it, and why people are living in with this issue, knowing it's affecting them so much, but they cannot come out of it. What's the problem? And what are the signs of and the symptoms of when someone is addicted to drugs? And also, how can we help them once they are in this substance abuse? What can we do to help them out of this problem?
እንደምን አረፈዳችሁ። አሜን። እግዚአብሔር ስም የተመሰገነ ይሁን። ዛሬ የምናወራ ስለ አደንዛዥ እጽ ልጆቻችንን እየቀጠፈ ያለ ሁላችንም ሹር እየሰማ ነው ያለ ነገር አለና ስለሱ ነው የምንነጋገር። ፕሬዘንቴሽኑ ፖስት እስኪደረግ ድረስ ኦብጀክቲቭ ሰብስታንስ አቢዩዝ አደንዛዥ እጽ ምን እንደሆነ ኤክስፕሌን ማድረግ፣ ከዛ ደግሞ አደንዛዥ እጽ የሚባሉት ሰብስታንሶች ምን ምኖች እንደሆኑ፣ ከዛ ደግሞ ስታቲስቲክስ ምን ያክል ሰው እየተጠቃ እንደሆነ በዚህ በልጆቹ እና ከዛ ደግሞ the next thing will be ሰዎች ለምን substance abuse addicted እንደሚሆኑ ከዛ we'll talk about someone addicted ነው ለማለት የሚታየው ሳይን ሰው ስታየው ሰውን ሳይን ምልክቶች የመጨረሻው ነገር ደግሞ the last thing ደግሞ how can we help our kids understand እንዲያረጉ substance abuse ምን እንደሆነ ሲቪሪቲውን አንደርስታንድ እንዲያደርጉት እንዴት ነው ልጆቻችንን መርዳት የምንችል የሚለውን በመናቃት ትንሽ የእውቀት ልናስረዳ ነው።
Okay, ጊዜያችንን ላለመሻማት. So what are really substance abuse disorder? Why is it called a disorder? It is a disorder because it has some mental illness to it. But a substance abuse is also known as a drug abuse, is when someone uses drug for either for recreation purpose or pleasure, and to cope, mainly to cope with the stress and to forget about this world. But it becomes a habit. They do it again and again. As I mentioned earlier, it affects their thinking ability, functionality, and also their productivity. That's why it's a disorder, and it's an abuse because they use it again and again to get the feeling of what it's giving them.
What's missing? የመጀመሪያው እንትን ላይ ስለ substance abuse ስናወራ I'm sorry. substance abuse ሰው ሲያወራ ስለ ኮኬይን ምናምን ብቻ ነው ጭንቅላት ውስጥ የሚገባውና it's very important to understand that prescription drugs can also be the source of substance abuse problem. እሱን እንዳትረሱት ብዬ
Yeah, especially for kids who are in college and playing sport. One of the ways they get addicted to drug is they get some prescription medication. So to recover their injuries, and as a result, they become addicted to that drug because of what the feeling it's giving them. So what are the common substances that most people use now? There are many, but we are listing the common ones that's used by mainly the young people. The first one is alcohol, marijuana, even if it's legal nowadays in so many states and it becomes in so many forms, but it's still a substance and it still makes people addicted. And as we said, prescription medication, there's so many of them. Even the ones that we take for mental illness that can be cause addiction too. Methamphetamines, cocaine, opiates, and hallucinogens and inhalants. There are some pictures that you can see what is what. So opiates like heroin, stimulants, cocaine, depressants like alcohol that really depresses your thinking. Minor tranquilizers like Valium that's mainly given for mental illness, hallucinogens, like magic, the mushrooms that most young kids, that's what they use, cannabis, that's marijuana that comes in different forms, and solvents, they're aerosol that comes in a can. And also the aerosol, when I talk about the aerosols and solvents, the kids on the street in Ethiopia, what they use is, I think it's gas or some type of fuel, or what is it called? Mastish. Yeah, it's called mastish. It's some type of glue. They smell it like continuously for them to cause some type of high or block of their thinking. And some herbal eyes too. There are so many herbals that people use to get high, and also tobacco. Cigarette can be addictive too. So to mention, one of the common ones that's causing so many issues nowadays, from the kids 6 years old all the way to grown-ups, is fentanyl.
Next, April. Okay. The most important thing, ዛሬ እንዲገባችሁ የምንፈልገው ነገር ስለ ፌንታኒል እኔ ልጅ አለኝ 5 ዓመት ልጅ እና ትምህርት ቤታቸው ስለ ፌንተኒል ለመነጋገር ተብሎ ወረቀት ላኩልን። እኔ ፒጂ ካውንቲ ነው የምኖርና አይኑ ሞንጎመሪ ምን እንደተላከና አምሹር ብዙዎቻችሁ እየሰማችሁት ነውና ዩ ሪሊ በጣም አቴንሽን ሰጥታችሁ ስለ ልጆቻችሁ መነጋገር ያለባችሁ ከሚድል ስኩል ጀምሮ ላለ ልጅ መነጋገር ያለበት ነገር ነውና ፌንተኒል it's a medication like it's an opioid like morphine and oxycodone like medical use አለው ፌንተኒል I used to work in oncology floor እና ብዙ ጊዜ ለካንሰር ፔሸንቶች በቃን ኮንትሮልድ የሆነ ፔን ሲኖር that what they will take የሚሰጣቸው እሱ ነበር ያውም በሆስፒታል ሴቲንግ ነው የሚሰጥ እና if medically prescribed for any reason for any of your kids you just have to በደንብ ማስተዋል አለባችሁ so they don't get overdosed to it. Next please. Go ahead.
So why is fentanyl really dangerous? Because if it is used for a medical purpose in a medical field, why is it really dangerous now that everyone is talking about it? A couple of weeks ago, Montgomery School Department sent a mass email or a mass text for parents to be aware of this dangerous issue because a lot of kids died from it. So the fentanyl that they use on the street is not the same thing that we use in hospitals. Because the strengths of this fentanyl that they use on the street, God knows what kind of strength has. The strength is it's too strong. It is 100 times the morphine and it can kill an elephant. That's how strong it is. And every provider, sorry to say it is not even a provider, but the people who sell it, they make it into different strengths. So you don't know if someone buys this fentanyl-laced drugs from Baltimore and from New York, from some other states, it's all different because different makers makes it differently, so to make people more addicted. But in the process, because they don't know how much it has in it, people are dying from it.
እና ልጆቹ የት እንደሚያገኙ ፌንተኒል ብለን ሰርች ስናረግ it's amazing ትምህርት ቤት is easy ለማግኘት እንትኑን ከዛ ደግሞ ኦንላይን በቃ every መቼም ልጆቻችሁ አላቸው ስልክና በስልክ ሰርች አድርጎ ያን ያክል ማግኘት የሚቻልበት it's so easy እንትን ለማድረግና ፌንተኒል as ሃኒ እንዳለችው it's more powerful than morphine ለፔን ይሰጣል ያውም በጣም ሲቪር ለሆነ ፔን ፌንተኒል ደግሞ ከዛ ይባሰ ነውና ሲንቴቲክ መሆኑ ድራግ ካርቴሎቹ they will add ከሄሮይን ከኮኬን ጋር ይቀላቀሉትና በርካሽ ቶሎ ሃይ የሚያረግ it's very addictive ምክንያቱም ሃይ ሲያረግ በጣም በትንሽ ጊዜ ነው ከዛ ደግሞ እንትኑ የሚወርድበት ቶሎ ደግሞ ዌር ኦፍ የሚያረግበት ደግሞ it's so quickly ስለዚህ you have to take more በወሰድን ቁጥር ደግሞ more addictive እንሆናለን ማለት ነው next okay ስለ ስታቲስቲክሱ በቃ we really want you to understand how serious it is ስታቲስቲክሱን ስታዩት ነው more እንትን የሚያረግ ሴንስ የሚያረግና alcohol marijuana and tobacco are the substances most used in adolescent if you have a 12th grade by 12th grade about 2/3 of students have tried alcohol I have 3 kids ስለዚህ if I have 3 kids one of them at least 2 of them out of 3 will try alcohol by 12th grade ማለት ነው about half of 9th through 12th grade students reported ever having used marijuana ከ9ኛ ክፍል እስከ 12ኛ ክፍል ያሉ ልጆች ደግሞ half of them they have used marijuana it's everywhere በኩኪ በካንዲ በሁሉም ነገር ነው ያለ it's very accessible ለልጆቹ about 4 in 10 ከ9 እስከ 12ኛ ያሉት ልጆች ደግሞ ሲጋሬት ሞክረዋል ከ10 4ቱ ማለት ነው among 12 graders close to 2 in 1 reported using prescription medicine without prescription ከአምስት ልጅ አንዱ at least by 12th grade prescription medicine like ቀደም ስናወራ እንደነበረው oxycodone morphine ሊሆን ይችላል ያለ prescription ሳያስፈልጋቸው by 12th grade at least ከአምስቱ አንዱ ሞክረውታል
Statistics too, and it's really alarming, and hopefully it's an eye-opener for all of us, because most of us think our kids are an angel and they never try anything, but we really have to. It's not about them. It's not because of them. It's so many pressures out there for them to make them try this kind of things. To continue the statistics also, if it's illegal under 21 to drink an alcohol, but most of the time our kids go to college at the age of 19 or 18. So from 12 to 20 years of 20, between 12 to 20, they already tried an alcohol before even it's illegal. And according to the CDC, there were about 70,630 overdose deaths in the United States due to opioids. This number, to be honest, is taken before the pandemic, so now it's higher more. Working in a healthcare field, we see so many young people coming through an ambulance due to overdose of this substance. So what are the symptoms of, so let's say someone is taking that substance, this happened to them. What are the things that we have to see as a parent? So we're gonna break down this in both English and Amharic so we all can understand it. As a parent, as I said, I'm gonna say it again, most of our kids are angels in our eyes, but just be aware, if you don't know what's going on in your kid's life, you won't be able to help them. So some of the signs to watch on our kids when they start taking this type of substance, the physical change would be like rapid weight loss, because that really restricts their appetite, bloodshotty eyes, even after they got some sleep, dilated or constricted pupils, sometimes especially, I live in Baltimore, so I see all kind of drama when people take drugs. Their eyes should be like really bulged up, and it's really scary. They stare at you, but they're not really staring at you. That's the medicine that's doing the thing on their eyes. So if you're seeing those kind of things on your kids, just see, ask them what's going on, and isolating themselves from their friends and families, and withdrawing from friends or activities they previously were enjoying, and depression, anger, irritability, dropping of their grades all of a sudden. They don't want to study because, as I said, it really affects their thinking and judgment ability, so that is going to affect their grades too. Little concern about hygiene. The medicine itself, when they take it, it creates some type of odor in their body. On the top of that, due to the depression and also what is causing in their, in their head, they really don't want to take shower, they don't want to change their clothes, so the hygiene is also another concern. An unexpected abnormality in their heart rate, blood pressure. What most of the drugs do is it relaxes the body so much, so how our system works, for most of is it's through contraction and relaxation of the muscles. So when the body is too much relaxation, their heartbeat is so slow, the blood pressure drops. So those are some other signs too. A sudden change in their spending habit. All of a sudden they're coming to you and they say I need more money, I need more money. There is a school project that I need to contribute. My friend's birthday is coming up, I need this money. So if the spending habit is gradually changing, you need to question it, and what are you doing with the money? And if you have to pay the money directly to what they are asking for, go for it. And also difficulty sleeping, because it affects their sleeping. Behavioral issues at home or school, and potentially that can lead to disciplinary action, serious disciplinary action, end up in jails. We have so many young. That is why our Sunday school actually took the initiative to bring this issue to create an awareness and an awakening to our society, because we are seeing so many young people in jail due to these issues. So those are some of the things.
እንደ ወላጅ ወይም እንደ ቤተሰብ ሁላችንም ማየት የሚገባን ሲምፕተም ምንድነው? ከልጆቻችን ከዙሪያችን ካለ ሰውና ፊዚካል ቼንጅ ብዙ ጊዜ ዌት ሎስ ይኖራቸዋል። ግን the first thing you should know, any symptom ከመምጣቱ በፊት drug የሚወስድ ሰው don't picture it like we see people in DC ወድቀው የሚንገዳገድ ሰው ምናምን ፋንክሽናል ሆኖ ምናያቸው እዚህ ውስጥ ካለ ሰው እንኳን ብዙ ሰው ሊገኝ ይችላልና ይሄንን የምታዩትን አይነት ሲምፕተም ማስተዋል የሚጠቅም ከመጀመሪያው ፊዚካሊ ቼንጅ ከማረጋቸው በፊት ስሊፒንግ እንትን ከማረጋቸው በፊት ማስተዋል ያለብን ነገር ትምህርት ቤት ውስጥ ለውጥ ካለ ግሬዳቸው ድራፕ እያረገ ከሆነ ድሮም የሚያስደስታቸው የነበሩ አክቲቪቲዎችን ማረግ ካቆሙ ከድሮ ጓደኞቻቸው ትተው አዳዲስ ጓደኞች ጋር መቅረብ ሲጀምሩ ትምህርት ቤት በየሆነ ምክንያት ቢሄቪየራል ኢሹ ሆኖ መጠራት ስትጀምሩ ያኔ there has to be something በላይፋቸው ቼንጅ ያደረገ ያኔ ነው ማስተዋል የሚገባና እሱን ለመግለጽ። Okay. What causes substance abuse disorder? And there is no one cause of someone to begin abusing drugs. Nobody starts one day and say, oh, I want to take drugs. ብሎ የሚነሳ ሰው የለም። ግን there are several factors play የሚያደርጉ በዚህ ውስጥ ሪስክ የአንድን ሰው ድራግ የመውሰዱን ሰብስታንስ አቢዩዝ ማድረጉን ሪስክ የሚጨምሩ ነገሮች አሉና ፋሚሊ ሂስትሪ ኦፍ አቢዩዝ ሰብስታንስ አቢዩዝ ኤንድ ሜንታል ኢልነስ ሰብስታንስ አቢዩዝ ጄኔቲካል እንትን አለው ኮምፖነንት አለው እና if you have a family member who was alcoholic you tend to be alcoholic ልጆቹ ፈልገውም ሳይሆን ጄኔቲካሊ ፕሪዲስፖዝ ናቸው እና እንደ ወላጅ we need to help them አንዳንድ ሰው ገጥሟቸው አያውቅም ኢትዮጵያ አንድ መጠጥ ሲወስድ የሚሰክር ሰው አለ አንዳንዱ ሰው ደግሞ 100 ግላስ ጠጥቶ የማይሰክር ሰው አለና ተፈጥሯችን ሜካፕ ውስጥ ዲፈረንት ፎር ኤቭሪባዲ ስለዚህ ሰብስታንስ አቢዩዝ የሚያደርግ ፋሚሊ ከነበረ ዩር ፕሮን ቀድመን መርዳት ያለብን ልጆቻችንን የፋሚሊ ሂስትሪያችንን ካወቅን we should help our kids first እና ፋሚሊ ሂስትሪ ኦፍ አቢዩዝ and neglect people tend to take drugs ትምህርት ቤት ውስጥ ለአቴንሽን ከጓደኞቻቸው ጋር መቅረብ የሚፈልጉበት ዋናው ምክንያት እቤት it's about family structure ብዙ ነገሩ የሚሄድበት እና abuse or neglect if you're not giving attention we're too busy we know America life is busy ነው ሁሉ ሰው ግን neglect የተደረጉ ሲመስላቸው ኩል ለመባል አንዳንዶቹ ትምህርት ቤት ውስጥ ካለ ሰው ጋር ድራግ መውሰድ የሚጀምሩ በሱ ምክንያት ነው እና ፋሚሊ ቼንጅስ ኦር ኮንፍሊክት አት ሆም ሁሌ ባልና ሚስት ይፋታል ወይ ጭቅጭቅ አለ እሱን አቮይድ ለማድረግ people tend to take something የስትረሳቸውን እንትን አቮይድ ለማድረግ እና lack of discipline structure at home or overbearing strict discipline at home ሁለቱም ባላንስ ሲሆን ጥሩ ነው lack of discipline is not a good thing when your kids do something wrong መቀጣት አለበት ልጅ appropriate በሆነ ነገር ማለት ነው overbearing ደግሞ መሆን ልጆቻችን ስለሚፈሩን የሆነ ነገር happen ሲያረጋት ስኩል they're not going to tell us if you are በጣም strict discipline የምታረጉ ፓረንቶች ከሆነን መተው አይነግሩንም ያጋጠማቸውን ችግር እንዲነግሩን trust እንዲያረጉን it's something we should build at a young age ልጆቻችንን anything ቢመጡ they're going to be in trouble ሲያጠፉ I know ግን still ማውራት እንደሚችሉ ወላጆቻቸውን ማወቅ ስላለባቸው overbearing እና strict discipline it doesn't work በዚህ environment በተለይ ከዛ ደግሞ mental illness እና peer pressure አለ we can't talk about substance abuse without talking about mental illness ምክንያቱም mental illness is the main factor ብዙ ልጆች ወደ ድራግ ዲፔንድ የሚያደርጉበት ምክንያት በተለይ በእኛ ሶሳይቲ it's ብዙ አክሴፕቴብል በግልጽ የምናወራው ነገር አይደለም when it comes to mental illness ስለዚህ mental illnessአቸውን እንትን ለማድረግ ዲፕረስድ ከሆኑ anxious ከሆኑ ትንሽ ነገር ይመስለናል አይደል people presentation ኖሮን ልጆቻችን መቆም እስኪያቀታቸው ድረስ anxious ሲሆኑ you know what you do ኮሌጅ ሄደናል ሁላችንም እዚህ ሀገርና they will give you tablets ጓደኛችሁን ብትጠይቁት they will give you one tablet እንትንህን ወራፍ እንዲያረግልህ ተብሎ ማለት ነውና እንደሱ አይነት ነገር anxious ሲሆኑ ዲፕሬሽን ሲኖራቸው go get some help በሌላ ነገር ዲፔንድ ማድረግ ከመጀመራቸው በፊት help እንዲያገኙ እናርጋቸውና peer pressure የታወቀ ነገር ነው ጓደኞቻቸው ጋር ለመመሳሰል ብዙ ልጆች ወደዛ ዳይሬክሽን ይሄዳሉ it's just a simple picture
Okay, so how can we prevent substance abuse disorder before it affects our children? So as we talked in the previous slide, it's mainly it's about the family structure. and grooming and preparing our kids before they get to that stage. That starts at age 5, because their mental development start early in life. So if we are preparing them, empowering them, and also creating that really good connection with our kids, the chances of them turning into drugs and to other situations are really minimum. I can't say it's avoidable all the way, but we can really reduce the chances of it by creating that trusting, open communication bond with our kids. And by knowing, having a caring adult, any child will come to you before they go and talk to someone else with their children to solve their children. As Sagia was saying earlier, mental illness is like a taboo in our generation. If you say like, I'm depressed, I'm sad, and somebody will tell you, what's wrong with you? You have a shelter, you have this, you have that. The problem with our kids, they don't have the same challenge as how we grew up and what we grew up with back home. Back home, our issue is much different than what the kids facing in this country. So when they come to you and feeling sad, feeling depressed, and telling you that, their feelings, try to sympathize with them. If you can't give them any solution, at least listen to them. If you don't have any answer, you will direct them to the right person or to the right place for them to get help. But listening is the most important thing for all of us as a parent can do to our kids, and creating an open and trusting communication.
Prevention, open dialogue ማድረግ ከልጆቻችን ጋር, ask your children questions and listen without judgment. ሀንዬ ስትል እንደነበረው ኢትዮጵያ ያደግን ሰዎች የነበረን ቻሌንጅ በህይወታችን is different እዚህ ሀገር ከሚያድጉ ልጆች, እና እሱን እንደ ወላጅ አንደርስታንድ ማድረግ ያለብን ነገር እሱ ነው። በቃ እኛ ወይ ጫማ ቸግሮን ከነበር ኢትዮጵያ ያለን ወይ ምግብ ወይ መብላት የማይችል ሰው አይተን ያደግን አይደል? እነሱ ያሉበት ኢንቫይሮንመንት is different። በቃ የሆነ እሱን መቀበል አለብን። የኢትዮጵያን ካልቸር የኢትዮጵያን እንትን ማስተማር ጥሩ ነገር ነው፣ ግን እንደ ኢትዮጵያ ማደግ አይችሉም ልጆቹ። ምክንያቱም ኤንቫይሮንመንታቸው ያመጣናቸው እዚህ ምድር ላይ እዚህ አሜሪካን ሀገር የሚባል ሀገር ውስጥ ነው። እዚህ ሀገር ውስጥ ያለው ቻሌንጅ ደግሞ ምንም የማይመስል እንዴ እነዚህ ልጆች ፍራጃይል ናቸው እንዴ what happened to them ስንት ነገር አይቼ ስንት ነገር አድርጌ ያሳድጌ ሁለት ስራ ሰርቼ እንደሱ ነው የምንል ብዙዎቻችን። እና ቻሌንጃቸው የተለየ እንደሆነ በቃ ባይገባንም እንኳን ማዳመጥ ተታዳምጡና መልሱ ባይኖራችሁ እንኳን ሞልቷል። በጣም ሪሶርስ አለ እዚህ ሀገርና ሪሶርስ ለማግኘት እንዲችሉ ማድረግ ነውና ኦፕን የሆነ ዲያሎግ ያስተምራል። አውሯቸው ልጆች አሁን ስትመለሱ አውሯቸው በእድሜያቸው ከቤተክርስቲያን ስትመለሱ ቁጭ አርጋችሁ you will be surprised how much they know every drug we're talking about ያውቁታል ልጆቹ ኤክስፖዝድ ይሆናሉ በብዙ ነገርና ኦፕን ዲያሎግ ይኖራል። pay attention to their mood, social circleaቸውን sudden change ሲኖር ኩሬስ ሆናችሁ ጠይቋቸው። በቃ አጠያየቃችሁን ክሪቲሳይዝ የምታረጉ ሳት መስሉ እንዲያወሯችሁ አድርጉ። እና ፕሪስክራይብ ሜዲኬሽን ደግሞ ሲኖር ስፖርት የሚጫወቱ ልጆች ካላችሁ they have broken bone ኦርደር ይደረጋል። ሜዲሲን ኦርደር ሲደረግ when it comes to opioid አይነት መድኃኒት ራሳችሁ አድሚኒስተር አድርጉ፣ ስቶር አድርጉ ሜዲኬሽናችሁን። ኤቭሪ ፋሚሊ ባዝሩም ውስጥ ያለ ካቢኔት ውስጥ ነው የሚያደርገውና ስቶር አድርጉት። ኦፒዮይድ ኦርደር ሲደረግ ለልጆቹ አይደል፣ ለልጆቹ አድሚኒስተር አድርጉላቸው ራሳችሁ። ለእናንተ ሲሆን ግን ስቶር አድርጉት ሴፍ የሆነ ቦታ። ኩሬስ ነው ሁሉ ልጅ እና ኩሬስ ስለሚሆኑ ይሞክሩታል፣ ካገኙት ሰምተውታል፣ ስሙን ያውቁታልና ላካርጋችሁ ልጅ የማይደርስበት ቦታ አስቀምጡ። ዶንት ሜክ ዩር ሃውስ። እኔ ብዙ አበሻ ቤት ስትሄዱ ባር የሚመስል ሳሎን ያለው ሰው አለ። በቃ መጠጡ እዛ ተደርድሮ you think the kids are not going to try it እሱ ጅልነት ነው። ስለዚህ እንትን በሉ ኤንቫይሮንመንታችሁ ኪድ ፍሬንድሊ አድርጉላችሁ።
Okay, I mean, overall, the main purpose of this presentation is to create an awareness. We are not going to be able to completely avoid the issue, but by creating an awareness, more people will be aware and they'll be able to help their kids with what's going on in the world. And also, we are trying to get more people to involve in this. I know there are so many professionals in our church and in other churches too. So get together. Let's help our community. Let's help our kids. That's the main purpose of this presentation. And also, once the kids are, addicted to this substance, and I say it's mainly out there all over, all over the place. You turn around, there's drug. So if they get into it, just get some help. Don't be shy. Don't ignore the situation. Don't wait until something major happens and you'll be regretting for the rest of the world. To conclude this, I want to just share a quick story with you. What happened like 2 years ago, this mom, her friend saw that the mom's child was taking something on the street, and the mom completely ignored the issue. And she just keeps telling her, I'm seeing your son in this corner, he's doing this. And she said, no, he's my child. And of course, every child is an angel. He's not doing this. So this issue just kept growing and continuing and continuing. After 2 years, the child came home really unresponsive because she was really in denial. She didn't even call 911 for him. She's trying to make him better on her own way, but what the drug does is it really suppresses your respiration, so you can't really breathe, and she lost her child. Now she is an advocate to other people. She's going around and teaching the kids, but she lost her own child because she was really ignoring the issue. So parents, please do not ignore the issue. If this happens, there is help everywhere. As you see, the word of God on the Bible, it says, train up your child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. And for kids, my advice to you is, I know there is temptation out there everywhere you go, but always remember, there are certain things that you don't do inside the temple. And remember, your body is the temple of God. So just remember, when you get into that temptation, always remember that word. You are created by his image and likeness. And no substance, no circumstance should affect your body and should enter in your body and destroy your body, because you have so much potential to give in this world. We all are here for a purpose, a reason in this world. So do not cut your life short for something, avoidable. So always remember, you are created by God for a purpose, for a reason. Thank you so much.
It's amazing. Yeah. It's great. It's motivational, educational, inspirational, and it's an eye-opener. So we're proud of you, Hannah and Gereda. Please give a round of applause again for them. God bless you, and also in your life, always God be with you. Thank you so much again. ከዚህ ቀጥለን ወረብ እናቀርባለን። ከዛ ሜን ገስታለን። ዛሬ ወደዛ ነው የምናልፈው። አሁን ግን ዲያቆናቱ ባንድ ላይ ሆነው ከቀሳውስቱ ጋር አብረው ብቻቸውን እንዳይሆኑ ቀሲስ ዮናስም አሉ መርጌታም አሉ አብረን አንፈራጸው የሚለው ወረብ እዚህ ቀርብና ከዛ በኋላ ወደ ቀጣይ ንግግር እናልፋለን። ሀኒንና ጽጌን አሁንም እግዚአብሔር ዝማሬ መላእክት ያሰማልን፣ ቃለ ሕይወትም ያሰማልን። ዘማሪዎቻችን ናቸው። ዩኒፎርማቸውን ለብሰው ነው ፕሬዘንቴሽኑን ያቀረቡትና የኛው ዘማሪዎች ናቸው። እግዚአብሔር ይጠብቀልን።
ሰገል ሰብአ ሰገል አንበራዞ ሰብአ ሰገል አምሃ አምሃ አውሞ አምጽኦ መንበር አንበራዞ ሰብአ ሰገል አንበራዞ ሰብአ ሰገል አንበራዞ ሰብአ ሰገል አንበራዞ ሰብአ ሰገል አምሃ አውሞ አምጽኦ መዝሙመ አምሃ አምጽኦ መዝሙመ አንበራዞ ሰብአ ሰገል አንበራዞ ሰብአ ሰገል አንበራዞ ሰብአ ሰገል አንበራዞ ሰብአ ሰገል አምሃ አውሞ አምጽኦ መድምመ አምሃ አውሞ አምጽኦ መድምመ አንበራዞ ሰብአ ሰገል አንበራዞ ሰብአ ሰገል አንበራዞ ሰብአ ሰገል አንበራዞ ሰብአ ሰገል
ለዲያቆናቱ ዝማሬ መላእክት ያሰማልን። ቀሳውስቱም አብረው ስለነበረ እነሱንም ዝማሬ መላእክት ያሰማልን። አንዴ አሁንም ለእግዚአብሔር ምስጋና ተሰጣላችሁ። ከዚህ በኋላ 30 ደቂቃ ብቻ ነው የምንቆየው፣ እንጨርሳለን። አሁን ቀጣይ ፕሬዘንት የሚያደርጉትን እጋብዛለሁ። It's a great pleasure to introduce our next speaker. He is a professor in New Testament and Biblical Language and Literature in Howard University School of Divinity, and he also a dean for the doctoral department. He is the author of several books. He has a solid background in theology, counseling, leadership, biblical studies, and also he is the founder and the CEO of CEOS. It's an abbreviation of CEOs, collaborate to educate our boys. Now I will invite to the podium Dr. Bertram Melbourne. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming Professor Bertram Melbourne.
Good morning. It's my pleasure to be with you one more time and to share with you, I'd like to thank your priest, Dr. Lemmer, for this invitation. He has been a very good friend of mine, and we work very closely together. The topic I've been assigned is how to become successful by avoiding destructive behaviors. I think the previous presentation was very, very excellent. And there are things that they have mentioned that I'd like you to bear in mind as we move forward. So my suggestion, please move to the next slide. My suggestion is, in order to become successful, you need to become a dreamer. What is that? You need to become a what? A dreamer. And so my question is, are you a dreamer? Do you dream? The idea is our world needs more dreamers. We all need to dream. And so I'd like to ask the young people, the young boys, the young girls, what do you want to be when you grow up? Have you yet decided that? When I was 8, when I was 9, I knew I wanted to become a neurosurgeon. I was going to do medicine, and that was my goal. That was my dream. That's what fired me. Why am I not a neurosurgeon? God had something else in mind for me. And so, that goal fired me. I'm on the next slide. Until God took me in another direction. And actually, both goals have now become one. So our world we need us all to dream. And so I'd like to invite you to come dreaming with me. Come dreaming with me. And that's also true for us adults. Are you a dreamer? Next slide. You are not too young to begin to dream. Joseph began dreaming while still in his teenage years. Perhaps Joseph's first dream was when he was somewhere around 14 years old, between 14 and 16, since he was 17 when he went to Egypt. My point then is that dreaming is necessary. Joseph was the 11th of 12 boys and one girl. He began dreaming while still a teenager. He had dreams, but his brothers, next slide, did not like them. He might have been okay if he kept them to himself. And what this is saying to us young people is that sometimes when you share your dream, there are people we call dream killers. What do we call them? Dream killers. And they'll do anything they can to kill your dream. But you have to love your dream and want your dream so much that no one will be able to kill your dream. So, next slide. They sold him as a slave. There are even relatives who will try to destroy your dream, or whose destructive habit you must avoid. They may be doing things, whether drugs, they are on drugs. Maybe it's something that looks innocent, like smoking, like drinking. I tell folks, I am an alcoholic. My wife never used to like to hear me say that. Because I have never had one drink of alcohol in my life. So if I have never had one drink of alcohol in my life, how come I'm an alcoholic? My father was. At one point, my father was drunk for 20 days. And so, I don't know whether it's the first drink or the second drink that I'm going to take that's going to push me over the edge. So therefore, I admit that I'm an alcoholic and I don't drink. The point then is, you may have relatives who may want to kill your dream. They sold Joseph, but that was only a setback to his dreams. Do you know the name Barry Black? Do you know who Dr. Barry Black is? He is the chaplain to the United States Senate. I'm going to tell you a little more about him later. But Dr. Black says, a setback is a setup for God to help you make a comeback. A setback is a setup for God to help you make a comeback. And often your comeback, this is my addition, often your comeback leaves you better than you were before. Next slide. So, Joseph set back. He worked as a slave in Egypt in Potiphar's house. He did very well, but this left him open to temptation. To succeed and attain your goal, there are destructive habits and people you must avoid. His success attracted Mrs. Potiphar's attention, who had other ideas for him. But because he was a child of God, and because he knew where he was going and what God had in mind for him, he left his coat in her hands and ran away from temptation. What that meant? He was put in prison for a crime he did not commit. This means that sometimes you may be wrongfully charged, but don't let that stop your goal. He was forgotten in prison by one whose dream, next slide, he had interpreted, but that did not deter him. God gave Pharaoh dreams. God made Pharaoh forget the dreams. Why? Because God did not want the magicians and the wise men to mislead Pharaoh. God wanted him to get the interpretation he had in mind. So, let me say, even when it looks like your dream is destroyed and you won't come true, don't give up. Believe in your dream. Amen? Even when it looks like it might not happen, believe in it, because God can and will see you through. Finally, the cupbearer remembered Joseph. Joseph interprets the dream, credits God. Joseph becomes prime minister of Egypt, which means he was vice president of Egypt. But here's the setup. In 7 years of plenty, Joseph created a layaway plan. When the famine began, there was no food in Egypt. Jacob's family needed food. They learned there was food in Egypt, so they came to Egypt to buy food. And here is the comeback. Next slide and the next one. Joseph's brothers are now in Egypt. They try to kill him because of his dreams. But as prime minister, he's responsible for sales. So note his brothers bowing down before him, fulfilling his dreams. It took years, but his dream came true. If you are to succeed, my friend, you need a dream. You need a dream. Joseph tests them, called them spies, imprisoned them, kept one in prison, sent the others home so that Benjamin could come to Egypt so he could see his brother again. Benjamin came to Egypt. They all again bowed down before Joseph, fulfilling his dream. He revealed himself. They bowed again in fear. Joseph's dream came through. Joseph sent home for the family, brought his father and the entire tribe to Egypt. They again bowed to Joseph. It may take time, but God rewards dreamers. Come dreaming with me. Now let me apply that. I'm down to the slide application, yes? Though costly, dreamers are needed in 2023. Dreaming is the only path to success. Dreaming is the only path to success. There is no dream that is too big that you cannot achieve with God. No dream is too small. Dream. You may be ill-treated. You may be unjustly imprisoned. You may be intimidated, hurt, or even killed. But keep on dreaming. You need to dream. Dreamers are needed. Pursue your dream, the dream that God has given you. Come dreaming with me. It was the dream. Next month is Black History Month. Let me just use this as a motivator here. It was the dream of Louis Latimer, a black inventor that gave us an important part of the light bulb, the carbon filament. Come dreaming with me. It was George Washington Carver's dreams that gave us peanut butter that many of us enjoy, especially with jelly. It was Martin Luther King's dream that unlocked social justice for people of color in the United States. Come dreaming with me. It was Madam C.J. Walker's dreams that revolutionized hair products for black women. Come dreaming with me. It was Dr. Patricia Bart's dream that gave us laser contact surgery. I am seeing better today because I had laser contact surgery. It was a black woman that did that for us. It was Dr. Charles Drew's dream that gave us the blood bank. It was Garrett Morgan's dream that gave us traffic lights that help to make traffic flow better. Come dreaming with me. I told you I'll tell you a little about Barry Black. And mothers, fathers, this is important for you too. Dr. Barry Black was born in Baltimore, Maryland. His mother had the habit of inviting him every day to commit a Bible passage to memory. Every day he had to commit a Bible text to memory. On this particular day, the text his mother gave him was, "My son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not." My son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not. While he was there was a knock on the door. And when he went to open the door, his friends were there. They said, "Come on, Barry, we're going over there today. Come with us." And he remembered the text. "My son, if sinners entice thee. My daughter, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not." So he told them he would not go, and he did not go with them. They went across Baltimore. They broke into her house, began searching and robbing the house. While they were there, the owners came back unexpectedly and surprised them. How are they going to escape? They killed the owners. They were caught, found guilty, and put in prison. Barry Black was saved by not going because of what his mother had done for him. The text she gave him that day, "My son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not." He is the United States, the chaplain to the United States Senate, the first black person to hold that position today because of what his mother did for him. And so I'd like to say, young men, I'd like to say, young ladies, there may be friends who would like you to do things. Let your dream prevent it. Let what your parents are doing for you help to succeed. I have a similar story. When I was in college, I wanted to go out. My mother agreed for me to go out. Then all of a sudden, the day before I was to go, she said, "You are not going." And I was hurt. I thought I was a man. I was 16, but I was in college. So I was upset. And I went back to school. Later on, I discovered that while my mother did not know why she told me not to go, it was God who had told her to tell me not to go. Had I gone, I would have been with my girlfriend. And my girlfriend had gone and had had an affair with somebody else and had become pregnant. Had I been there, I would have been with her around the time. And if she chose, she could have said it was mine. But God had a plan for my life. And God wanted to spare me. So God made my mother, made me not go. I was upset. But it was God who had done it. Boys, girls, young men, young women, listen to your parents. That's one way to avoid destructive behaviors and become successful. Come dreaming with me. We still need dreamers. We need some of you to dream up cures for the common cold, to dream up cures for sickle cell anemia, to dream up cures for Alzheimer's diseases, for lupus, for cancer, and for COVID-19. Come dreaming with me. Develop your dream. Think about your dream. Catch your dream. Buy your dream. Seek your dream. Get your dream. And even teach your dream if you must. One famous guy said, in order to avoid destructive behavior and be successful, I thought about my dream. I caught my dream. I bought my dream. I sought my dream. I got my dream. And I teach my dream. I recommend that to you. That's the only way to succeed. So, develop your dream. Make a dream that by God's grace, you will graduate from high school. Make a dream that you will pursue post-secondary education. Choose a career and decide that nothing or no one will prevent you from getting your career. It may be a skill, it may be a trade, it may be technical certification, whatever it is. Make sure you plan for it, even college and advanced degrees. In order to achieve it, find a mentor. And I recommend, listen to this very carefully, I recommend to each young girl, each young boy, I recommend that you find 5 persons that can help you reach your goal. Adults, fathers, mothers, I recommend that you assist your children in having 5 mentors. Adults, I recommend that you decide to become a mentor for one person. Let me tell you why. It has been discovered that boys and girls who are in prison have 0 to 1 persons who care for them. If they have 4 persons who care for them, they immediately quit destructive behaviors and they become good. I recommend they have 5, 1 extra one. All you need to do, you don't have to do anything big. All you have to do is when they come on the church and you see them, how are you? How are you doing in school? Are you doing okay? Yeah. And if 5 person does that to him, it makes a difference in his life. That's easy, isn't it? I invite you to do that. I had those kind of people in my life when I was young. That's why I'm where I am today. And that's why I am recommending it to you. And so, young people, find somebody that you can trust, somebody you can talk to who can help you achieve your goal. So, what next? I recommend the P3 plan. Plan how you'll achieve your goals. Pray about your goals. And then put your dreams in action. All right? Plan how you will achieve your dreams. Pray about your dreams. And then put your dreams in action. It is never too early to begin to dream. So I have collaborated to educate our sons and our girls too. As Dr. Lemma have told you, we need youth of character, of service, of trust. Come dreaming with me. You can be a young man like that. You can be a young lady like that. Your daughter can be like that. Your son can be like that. They can avoid destructive behaviors by developing their dreams, nurturing their dreams, developing good habits, avoid drugs, avoid destructive behaviors, have good friends, care for each other, love each other, serve the Lord. develop good habits, choose right over wrong, education over ignorance, choose good over the expedient, and God will help you achieve your dream, your goal. I invite you, come dreaming with me.
We appreciate your presentation. Thank you so much. It helps our community, our congregation. So we learn how to dream, how to plan, how to pray, and to put them in action. The world needs dreamer. Ethiopia needs dreamer. Ethiopian people need dreamer. Not only dreamer, we need doers also. Dreams is good, as Dr. Melbourne mentioned before, and also the best thing is action. So dreamers plus also doers. We need this kind of people. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a massive round of applause for our presenter, Dr. Melbourne. Today is second day to give a presentation in our church. By the way, he's one of my professor. I studied under him about the transformational leadership, one of the best professor in Howard University. So I will thank you in front of our congregation, Dr. Melbourne. Now he's my friend and my colleague now. So really appreciate your effort. Thanks so much. It's amazing, especially for our young people, our young boys, and for young women. Also, the previous presentation by Hannah and Gereda, it was amazing. This was wonderful. So this was our today's program. Thank you so much. All, God bless you. እግዚአብሔር ይባርካችሁ። ቀጣይ መርሃ ግብራችን የሚሆነው መዘምራኑ በዚህ ሆኑና መዳይ ምጽዋት የሚያዞሩት ብቻ መዳይ ምጽዋት ያዞራሉ። ሌሎቹ መዘምራን በዚህ ሆነው ድንግል ፈጣሪዋን ወለደችው የሚለውን ዝማሬ እንዘምራለን። መዳይ ምጽዋት ይዞራል። ጸበልም እዛው ቁጭ እንዳላችሁ ይደርሳችኋል። አምላካችን እግዚአብሔር ስለ ሁሉም ነገር የተመሰገነ ይሁን። በወር አንዴ ነው ይሄን ፕሮግራም እናስበው። ምን ይመስላችኋል? እንደ እግዚአብሔር ቢፈቅድ ማለት ነው። ምክንያቱም ትልቅ ችግር አለ በማህበረሰባችን ውስጥ። ለትልልቆችም ሰዎች እኮ ነው፣ ለትንሾቹም ሰዎች ብቻ አይደለም፣ ለትልልቅም ሰዎች ነው። ስለዚህ ይሄ እጅግ ወሳኝ ነገር ነው። ቅድም እንደገለጽኩላችሁ ፕሮፌሰር መልቦርን የሲኢኦስ በጣም ብዙ ስራ የሚሰራ ነው። የሚገርማችሁ ከድራግ ውስጥ አውጥተው ልጆችን ለኮሌጅ ግራጁዌት እስከማድረግ ስኮላርሺፕ እየሰጡ የሚሰሩ ናቸውና እንደው ይሄ ትልቅ ስራ ነውና ደግማችሁ አመስግኑት። በእውነት ትልቅ ነገር ነው። Thank you again, Dr. Melbourne. ሁላችሁም መባችሁን ዝግጁ ታረጋላችሁ። መባው ከተሰጠ በኋላ ጸበሉን በዛው ይቀጥላል። ከዛ በኋላ የመጨረሻውን ጸሎት አድርገን እንፈጽማለን።
እናምናለን። ድንግል ፈጣሪዋን ወለደችው በመጠቅለያም ጠቀለለችው የለምና ስፍራ ለእንግዶች ማረፊያ ግርግም አስተኛቸው በከብቶች ማደሪያ የለምና ስፍራ ለእንግዶች ማደሪያ ግርግም አስተኛቸው በከብቶች ማደሪያ ድንግል ፈጣሪዋን ወለደችው በመጠቅለያ ጠቀለለችው የለምና ስፍራ ለእንግዶች ማረፊያ ግርግም አስተኛቸው በከብቶች ማደሪያ የለምና ስፍራ ለእንግዶች ማደሪያ ግርግም አስተኛቸው በከብቶች ጨነቃት ጠበባት የዳዊት ከተማ የጌታ መወለድ ታምሩ ሲሰማ ወረደ መላኩ የምስራቅ ሊያወራ የሕፃኑም ክብር በምድር አበራ የምስጢር ግሩም ነው ከቶ ማይነገር ማርያምን በልቧ ትጠብቀው ነበር የምስጢር ልዩ ነው ከቶ ማይነገር ማርያምን በልቧ ትጠብቀው ነበር ድንግል ፈጣሪዋን ወለደችው በመጠቅለያ ጠቀለለችው የለምና ስፍራ ለእንግዶች ማደሪያ ግርግም አስተኛቸው በከብቶች ማደሪያ የለምና ስፍራ ለእንግዶች ማደሪያ ግርግም አስተኛቸው ሰብአ ሰገል መጡ ከሩቅ ምስራቅ አገር ወርቅ ዕጣን ከርቤውን ለእርሱ በመዘከር በእናቱ እቅፍ አገኙት ሕፃኑን ለዓለም ተናገሩ ንጉሥ መወለዱን የምስጢር ድንቅ ነው ከቶ ማይነገር ማርያምን በልቧ ትጠብቀው ነበር የምስጢር ልዩ ነው ከቶ ማይነገር ማርያምን በልቧ ትጠብቀው ነበር ድንግል ፈጣሪዋን ወለደችው በመጠቅለያ ጠቀለለችው የለምና ስፍራ ለእንግዶች ማደሪያ ግርግም አስተኛቸው በከብቶች ማደሪያ የለምና ስፍራ ለእንግዶች ማደሪያ ግርግም አስተኛቸው በከብቶች ማደሪያ የይሁዳ ምድር ምስጋና ተመላ ንጉሥ መጥቷልና ከናዝሬት ገሊላ ታምሮን ትናገር ቤተልሔም ታውራ ዝማሬ ሲያወጣ ተረስቶ ቀረ የምስጢር ድንቅ ነው ከቶ ማይነገር ማርያምን በልቧ ትጠብቀው ነበር የምስጢር ግሩም ነው ከቶ ማይነገር ማርያምን በልቧ ትጠብቀው ነበር ድንግል ፈጣሪዋን ወለደችው በመጠቅለያ ጠቀለለችው የለምና ስፍራ ለእንግዶች ማደሪያ ድንግል አስተኛቸው በከብቶች ማደሪያ የለምና ስፍራ ለእንግዶች ማደሪያ ግርግም አስተኛቸው በከብቶች ማደሪያ የማይታይ ታየ ተዳሰሰ እንደ ሰው በጠባቡ ደረት አዳምን መሰለው ገረማት ጠበባት ታናሿ ሙሽራ ተዋህዷልና ቃል ከሥጋ ጋራ የሚስጥር ግሩም ነው ከቶ ማይነገር ማርያምን በልቧ ትጠብቀው ነበር የሚስጥር ልዩ ነው ከቶ ማይነገር ማርያምን በልቧ ትጠብቀው ነበር ድንግል ፈጣሪው ወለደችው በመጠቅለያም ተቀለለችው የለምና ስፍራ በእንግዶች ማደሪያ ግርግም አስተኛቸው በከብቶች ማደሪያ የለምና ስፍራ ለእንግዶች ማደሪያ ግርግም አስተኛቸው በከብቶች ድንግል ፈጣሪዋን ወለደችው በመጠቅለያም ተቀለለችው የለምና ስፍራ ለእንግዶች ማደሪያ ግርግም አስተኛቸው በከብቶች ማደሪያ የለምና ስፍራ ለእንግዶች ማደሪያ ግርግም አስተኛቸው በከብቶች ማደሪያ
መዘምራኑን ዝማሬ መላእክት ያሰማልን በረድኤት በቸርነት ይጠብቅልን የአምሃ ሥላሴ ዛሬ መታሰቢያ አድርገን ነበር የአንድ ዓመት መባ $100 አስገብተዋል ባለፈው ዓመት እዚህ ክርስትና ያስነሱ ልጆቻቸውም አሉ የነሱ ቤተሰቦች ናቸው እንደዚሁም ደግሞ ወልደ መድህን ብለን ያሰብነው ያተኩራባቸው የደብረ ገነት መድኃኔዓለም ቀዳሚ አባላት ከሆኑት መካከል ያንዱን ነው ስናስብ የነበረው በሁሉም ነገር ላይ አምላካችን እግዚአብሔር ስሙ የተመሰገነ ይሁን ረቡ ምንድነው ቀጠሯችሁ የት ነው ማታ ረቡ 5 PM ጀምሮ እስከ 7:30 ነው ቀጠሯችሁ ከስራ እንድትወጡ ስትወጡ እንጠብቃችኋለን ስለዚህ ታቦቱን የምናወጣው ሶስቱም ታቦታት ናቸው የሚወጡት ከተራ ነው ረቡ ጥምቀት ነው ስለዚህ ሶስቱም ታቦታት የሚወጡት እናንተ ከስራ ጨርሳችሁ ሁላችሁም ተሰብስባችሁ ነው ሶስት ታቦት እየወጣ በቤቱ ቁጭ የሚል ሰው የለም እንደውም ከስራም ቀደም ብሎ ፍቃድ ይወስድና ቀድሞ ይመጣል እዚህ የመድኃኔዓለም ወዳጅ የድንግል ማርያም ወዳጅ ቀድማችሁ ትገኛላችሁ ረቡ የሐሙሱ ጠዋት ነው ቅዳሴው የሚችል ሰው እሰየው አናስገድድም እሱን ማታ ግን ስራችሁን ቀደም ብላችሁ ወጣችሁ ከ5 ጀምራችሁ እዚህ ተሰበሰባላችሁ ታቦተ ሕጉን አውጥተን ጥምቀትን እናስባለን እናከብራለን እንቀደሳለን ያድርሰን በሏ ለጥምቀት ያልሆነ ቀሚስ ይበጣጠስ ነው የሚባለው አዎ በጭብጨባ በደንብ ግለጡልኝ ጭብጨባው እመጣለሁ ብቻ ሳይሆን ሌላም ሰው ጋብዛለሁ ነው የመሰለኝ እኔ የምትችሉትን ሰው ሁሉ ጋብዙ እኔም ማስታወቂያ በዩቲዩብ ላይ አደርጋለሁኝ ገልጻለሁ ስለዚህ የምትችሉትን ሁሉ አድርጋችሁ ረቡ እንገናኛለን እግዚአብሔር ደግሞ ለዓመት ያድርሰው ዋና እኮ ነው የጥምቀት በዓል ደግሞ ዋና ነው ቢያንስ ከተራውን ከቻላችሁ እንኳን ደግሞ ትልቅ በረከት ነውና እባካችሁ ረቡ አሁን የፊታችን ሮብ ሁሉንም ሰው ጋብዛችሁ ከ5 ጀምራችሁ እዚህ እንድንገናኝ ነው ስለዚህ ታቦቱን የምናወጣው ወደ 6:30 ላይ ነው መርሃ ግብሩ አጠቃላይ ወደ 7 በጊዜ ወደ ቤታችሁ እንድትሄዱ እናረጋለን ይሄ እንድታቁት ነው እግዚአብሔር አገራችን ኢትዮጵያ የሰላም ምድር ያድርግልን በረከት ይስጥልን ረድኤቱ ቸርነቱ አይለየን ደሞ ለብርሃነ ጥምቀቱ ለብርሃነ ልደቱ ያደረሰለትን ሳይው ደሞ እንዲያደርሰን የሱ ፍቃድ ይሁንልን ኢትዮጵያ እውነተኛ ሐላሚዎች እንደ ዮሴፍ ህልም የሚያልሙ ሰዎች ያስፈልጓታል ህልማቸውን በተግባር የሚለውጡ ሰዎች ያስፈልጓታል። ዛሬ ለልጆቻችን ዲያቆናት ይሄ መርሃ ግብር ዛሬ የተሰጠው ትምህርት ሁሉ ሌላውንም እንድታስተምሩ ነው። እናንተ ጎበዞች ናችሁ። ሁሉ ጊዜ በቤተ ክርስቲያን ውስጥ ያላችሁ አገልጋዮች ናችሁ። ሁሉ ጊዜ ጥሩ ስራ የምትሰሩ ናችሁ። ሁሉ ጊዜ የምትቀድሱ ናችሁ። ሁሉ ጊዜ የምታገለግሉ ናችሁ። ግን ሌሎችንም ጓደኞቻችሁ ማምጣት አለባችሁ። ሌሎቹንም መሳም መቻል አለባችሁና ይሄ ነው ዛሬ የተደረገው መርሃ ግብር። ለሁሉም ነው። ቤተሰብም ትልቅ ትምህርት ያገኘ ይመስለኛል። ሐናና ጽጌረዳ ለቤተሰቦቻችን ትልቅ ትምህርት፣ ከልጆች ጋር ያለ መገናኘት አለ፣ ከልጆች ጋር ያለ መዋል አለ። አንተ ልጅ ይሄን ስልክ ይዘህ ምንድነው ቲክቶክ የምታደርገው ይላል። እናንተ ሁሉ ጊዜ ምን ላይ ናችሁ ያሉት? ዛሃበሻ ጥምጥሴ ምን ላይ አይደላችሁም እንዴ ትልቆቻችሁ? እና ልጁ ማንን ነው የሚያየው? የተነገረው የቤተሰብ ጉዳይ በጣም ትልቅ ነገር ነው። ስለዚህ ምን ላይ ነው ያለው ሰውና እንትን ያስፈልጋል። በነገራችን ላይ አዲስ ፕሮግራም ሊጀምር ነው። ከየካቲት ጀምሮ ኢትዮጵያ ውስጥ አዲስ መርሃ ግብር ሊጀምር ነው። በቴሌቪዥን የ1 ሰዓት መርሃ ግብር። ያ የመርሃ ግብር ለሁሉም ኢትዮጵያ የተዘጋጀ ነው። ኦርቶዶክስ፣ ክርስቲያን፣ እስላም፣ ጴንጤ፣ ካቶሊክ የሚል የለም። ለሁሉም ሰው እኮ ነው አይደለም እንዴ? ሁሉም ሰው እኮ ነው። ሁሉም ኢትዮጵያዊ ነው። በኢትዮጵያዊነት እኮ አንድ ነን። እምነታችን ወደ እግዚአብሔር የምንሄድበት የግላችን መንገድ ነው እንደተባለው። አገሪቱ ግን የሁላችን እምነት። አሁን ቅድም የተባለው ድሪመር ያስፈልጋሉ የተባለው እኮ ጥሩ እንዲሆኑ ነው። ስለዚህ የዝግጅቴ ርዕሱ የ1 ሰዓት ሌክቸር ነው የሚሆነው። በባላገሩ ቴሌቪዥን ላይ ነው የሚቀርበው። ታላቅ እሳቢዎች የሚል ነው። ግሬት ማይንድስ ነው የሚለው ፕሮግራሙ እና አጠቃላይ አሳቢዎች ማውጣት ነው እና ለ1 ሰዓት በየሳምንቱ ከየካቲት ጀምሮ የቴሌቪዥን መርሃ ግብሩ ይጀምራል ኢትዮጵያ ውስጥና ይሄን አጠናቅቄ ጨርሻለሁ። ይሄንን ለመጀመር እንግዲህ አሁን ኢትዮጵያም ስለሚሄድ አመታዊ አገልግሎቴ ደርሷል። እየሄድኩ ማስተምርባቸው ቦታዎች ደርሰዋል። እሄዳለሁኝ ከ13-15 ቀን በኋላ እሄዳለሁኝ። ጉባኤዎች አሉኝ። ከአዲስ አበባ ውጭም አሉኝ፣ በአዲስ አበባም አሉኝ፣ በክፍለ ሀገርም መልካም በሆኑባቸው ቦታዎች ሁሉ አገልግሎቴን አድርጌ እመጣለሁ። እግዚአብሔር እንግዲህ የጀመርኩትንም እንዲያሳካ የእናንተም ጸሎት የእናንተም እርዳታ ያስፈልጋል። መርዳት የሚፈልግ ሰው ይረዳል። ግን ለቴሌቪዥን የጀመርነው እዚህ በሚደረገው መርሃ ግብር አለ። የሰጣችሁ ሰዎች፣ የረዳችሁ ሰዎች፣ ቃል የገባችሁ ሰዎች ያንን የቴሌቪዥን ክፍያውን እዚህ አሉ። ዛሬም እናቶ ንጋቱም አሉ። የምትችሉትን ሁሉ ታደርጋላችሁ። እግዚአብሔር ኃይሉና በረከቱን ይስጠን። ሁላችሁም ጸበል ጠጣችሁ። ሁሉም ሰው መዳይ መጽዋት ሰጣችሁ። እግዚአብሔር ደግሞ አብዝቶ በረከቱን ለቤታችሁ ይስጣችሁ። የመጨረሻ ጸሎት እንነሳ። ረቡዕ የማይረሳ ነው፣ እንገናኛለን። ጠዋት ቅዳሴ የሚገባው እንደ እሁድ ነው የምንገባው። ሐሙስ ስለሆነ ጥምቀት የሚውለው በ10 ከተራ። ስለዚህ ይሄንን እንድታቁት ነው። እግዚአብሔር በረድኤት ከሁላችን ጋር ይሁንልን። አቡነ ዘበሰማያት ይትቀደስ ስምከ ትምጻእ መንግሥትከ ወይኩን ፈቃድከ በከመ በሰማይ ከማሁ በምድር ሲሳየነ ዘለለዕለትነ ሀበነ አበሳነ አላ አድኅነነ ወአልዓነም ኩሉ ኩስ በዚአከ መንግሥተ ወስብሐት ለዓለመ ዓለም። ሰላም ቅዱስ ገብርኤል መልአኩ ውስጥ ማነው ሰላም ለኪ ደምነ ብሩክት አንቲ እምአንስት ወብሩክ ፍሬ ከተፈሥሒ ፍሥሕት ወተዘካ እግዚአብሔር ሰላም ኢየሱስ የፍቅር ባለቤት የሰላም ንጉሥ ሰላማዊ ኢየሱስ ክርስቶስ ሆይ ሰላምህን ስጠን፣ ሰላምህን አጽናልን። ኃጢአታችንን ሁሉ ይቅር ብለን በሰላም ወደ ቤታችን ገባ ዘንድ የበቃን አድርገን።
አንኑ አርሥቲክሙ ቅድመ እግዚአብሔር አምላክነ በደገብሮካ አህን ከመ ይባርከነ
እግዚአብሔር ይባርከነ ወይሰልአለነ። አቤቱ ሕዝብህን አድን ርስትህንም ባር። አቤቱ ሕዝብህን አድን ርስትህንም ባር። አቤቱ ሕዝብህን አድን ርስትህንም ባር። ለዘላለሙ ጠብቃቸው ከፍ ከፍ ማድረጋቸው በአንድ ልጅ በጌታችንና በአምላካችን በመድኃኒታችን በኢየሱስ ክርስቶስ ቤዛም የሆንካት ቅድስት ቤተ ክርስቲያንን ጠብቃት። ለነገስታትና ለመኳንን ቅዱስ ለሆነ ሕዝብና ወገን ማደሪያቱን ዘንድ የጠራሃት ዛሬ በዚች ቀን መጥታችሁ ተሰብስባችሁ የጸለያችሁ የቀደሳችሁ ያስቀደሳችሁ የጌታችን የአምላካችን የመድኃኒታችን የኢየሱስ ክርስቶስን ቅዱስ ሥጋውን የበላችሁ ክቡር ደሙን የጠጣችሁ በማወቅ ወይም ባለማወቅ የሰራችሁትን ኃጢአት ይቅር ይበላችሁ። ሥጋ መለኮት ስለሚባል ሥጋዊ ሕግና የሥርዓት ደም ስለሚሆን ደሙ የአሸናፊ እግዚአብሔር ልጅ በድንጋሌ ሥጋ በድንጋሌ ሕሊና ትምት የምትሆን የማርያም ልጅ ኢየሱስ ክርስቶስ ባለፈው ይቅር ይበላችሁ በሚመጣውም ይጠብቃችሁ። አባቶቼ ካህናት፣ ወንድሞቼ ዲያቆናት፣ በዚህ ያላችሁ ወንዶችም ሴቶችም ሕፃናት ጭምር ከታሰርንበት ኃጢአት የተፈታን እንሆን ዘንድ 12 ጊዜ እግዚኦ መሐረነ ክርስቶስ ከማሁ በእንተ እግዝእትነ ማርያም መሐረነ ክርስቶስ በሐልዮ በነቢብ በገቢር የማይሰራ ኃጢአት እግዚአብሔር ይፍታ። እግዚአብሔር ያሉ ምስለ ኩልክሙ አሜን። እግዚአብሔር እኛን አገልጋዮቹን የተቀበልነውን ሥጋና ደምህን የጠላትን ኃይል ሁሉ ምሕረትን የተመላች ከክፉ ሥራ ሁሉ አርቀን ቅዱስ ሥጋውን ጸጋን አሳይነ ወተረከብነ በኃይለ መስቀሉ ለኢየሱስ ክርስቶስ ኪያከ እግዚኦ ነአኩት ነሲያነ ጸጋ ዘመንፈስ ቅዱስ ልዑል እግዚአብሔር ይባርካችሁ ፊቱንም ያብራላችሁ። ልዑል እግዚአብሔር ይባርካችሁ ፊቱንም ያብራላችሁ። ልዑል እግዚአብሔር ይባርካችሁ ፊቱንም ያብራላችሁ። ከመከራ ሥጋ ከመከራ ነፍስ ይሰውራችሁ። ሀብተ ሥጋ ሀብተ ነፍስ ያድላችሁ። ጤና ይስጣችሁ። ሕመም ላላችሁ ፈውስ ይላክላችሁ። የመረረ ካለ ያጣፍጥላችሁ። የጎደለ ካለ ይሙላላችሁ። ዛሬ ሥላሴ ዓመት ናቸው። በአብርሃም ቤት የገቡበት ጥቅመ ሰናዖርን ያፈረሱበት ነው። የእኛንም ኃጢአት ያፍርሱልን። እንደ ሳራ ልመናችንን ይስሙልን። ክፉ አይንካችሁ። ሀገራችንን ሰላም ያርግልን። አሜን። በሰላም ወደ ቤት ግቡ። አሜን።